So 11 years have passed to the India's government, and government is highlighting the progress and the development that has achieved since 2014. So the 11 years of progress report, let's understand what government has to say, and we have to see and understand. So the current government, which came in 2014, and 11 years have happened. This is the third term of the same government. So the story starts from the story itself, that is, a new Bharat is taking place, shape, where progress is measured not only by GDP but dignity and opportunity. Annam Lakshmi Bhavani, a homemaker from Kadapa, secures Mudra loan to start a successful jute bag manufacturing unit. Jagdev Singh Haryana makes decision related to crops using AI app, and Meena Manji gets a LPG connection under Ujjwala scheme, ensuring a smokeless kitchen and more quality time with her children. Similarly, these are everyday realities of villages, towns, and cities across Bharat. So Bharat is transforming, and this transform is real on ground. So that, let's say what government has to say. Now this article, this video is important because it will give you a lot of facts for India's economy, India's development, and thereby they can be used in your answers as well. So as per the government, there are 4 pillar growth strategy which India is looking at, and the growth strategy, the first one is inclusive growth. Okay, so the first one is inclusive growth. The growth has to reach all, rich, poor, rural, urban, divide is not, has to be there. So inclusive, that means the last person in society is getting the benefit. The third is infrastructure development. Second is infrastructure development, whether it is a physical infrastructure or the social infrastructure. Okay, so that has to be developed holistically, and this will definitely transform the way economy looks at it. Then the third aspect is job creation. Now, India being a country which adds 1 million people to the labor force every month. So we are adding 1 million people to the labor force every month, and one way to restore the dignity and create a sense of accomplishment for those people would be to create good quality jobs, and that jobs will come from sectors like manufacturing, and especially here also the MSME sector would be the lifeline. So manufacturing led government job is definitely the way forward, and we have to empower the masses by simplifying the process. So India still lives in an era where challenges are abundant. For example, the challenges of getting Aadhaar based benefit, a ration card, or for that matter, people who are doing business, they're getting approvals and licenses in an easy manner. So ease of doing business, ease of living is what we are looking at. So definitely these are 4 pillar growth strategy of the current government, and you can use these in your answers in a very structured manner. The second part is, let's see the data. So if you look at the data is all about how the government has been able to achieve the numbers. So the capex right now, capex is capital expenditure, which means how much money you are investing in creating assets for the economy, and creating asset will create more opportunities. So 11.2 lakh crore will be the opportunity. The second is 59,000 kilometer highways were built in the last 11 years, and remember, these are highways which are 4 lane, 6 lane, and they are transforming the way infrastructure is looking at. 3,700-500 kilometers of rail tracks have been built. Again, the idea is to create a multimodal transport system. The idea is to develop our logistics sector. The idea is to boost our logistics sector and create an end mile or last mile connectivity. Then eventually the digital transformation, the digital infrastructure. Now digital infrastructure, especially UPI, Aadhaar, DigiLocker, or any such technology based solutions where government has a primary role, has definitely made a real mark, because it has brought digital inclusion, financial inclusion. It has led to a real social inclusion also, because the benefits are reaching to the masses in a very structured manner. 144 crore beneficiaries are there who are Aadhaar, linkages are there. So there is Aadhaar enabled, there is a JAM Trinity, Jan Dhan Aadhaar mobile, and that has transformed the way benefits reach the people. Also 60 crore daily UPI transaction. So this again, financial inclusion or the technology adoption in India is unprecedented, and that is something that is looking at in real, because that is helping to develop India, and technology is democratizing the Indian landscape. Then coming to the health, education and other infrastructure, we can look at the medical colleges. The medical college has increased from 387 to 780. The AIMS have increased from 723. We have 53 crore of 530 million Jan Dhan account, and these accounts are actually the main pillar of development, because it has helped India to transfer, or the government to transfer the benefits to the people, remove the middleman. So this Jan Dhan Aadhaar or JAM Trinity model is something that has transformed the way India is doing. And here also we have aspect like Aadhaar enabled payment transfer, payment transfer, and such things are there. 40 million houses are built under PM Awas Yojana, 120 million toilets are built under Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, 100 million LPG cylinders are being given under PM Ujjwala scheme, and similarly health insurance of Ayushman Bharat, 350 million people have got it. So overall, also we have 11 crore Indian farmers who are getting PM Kisan, that Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi, that is 6,000 monetary benefit reaching to their account through direct benefit transfer. So these are the transformational effect that is coming from the technology, and of course the resources which government is putting, the resource spending or the social sector initiative are taking things to next level. Now coming to developing India, manufacturing, especially sectors like electronics and semiconductor industry. So here the government is saying that, see, we are developing and our electronics manufacturing has increased 6 times in the last 11 years. It is almost 12 lakh crore. The electronic export has crossed 8 times to 3 lakh crore, and India today, the Bharat, that is, it is the second largest mobile manufacturer in the world. So these are transformational effect which nobody can deny and nobody can ignore, and this will only change it because the time has just begun. The next is the semiconductor mission. Now, if India has to do better, India has to look better. Agar India ko acha karna hai, to semiconductor is an era, because India has to not only develop not only to manufacture goods, but also develop technology. For example, whether it is chip fabrication, the commercial lab is under construction, the OSAT unit underway, they are made, chipset under an indigenous IP designed by Indian engineers. Similarly, 270 units with world-class EDA tools are there, in various universities. So we are looking at transforming the semiconductor mission. So there is a national semiconductor mission which is looking at to develop these. Now these are not easy, remember, because it will require investment, private participation, a convergence, and a decade of effort to reach the milestone that India is trying to achieve. So these will definitely make a real difference. And the next part is the way India looks at securing the security part, and here transformational approach is needed, especially in the no tolerance to terrorism. So India has changed from surgical strike to airstrike to Operation Sindoor. Bharat has shown clarity and courage in its fight against the terror. Each response reflects swift, decisive, on own terms, response, and terror attacks are the part of the countering terror attacks are the part of the current government's doctrine. It is based on the 3 pillars. So first are 3 pillars. The first is decisive retaliation on Bharat terms. Second is zero tolerance to nuclear blackmail. That is also a problem, and no distinction between terrorist and their sponsor. So this is the new terror doctrine, anti-terror doctrine, which India has developed, and what has made our response this is even more significant was the use of indigenous technologies and capabilities. So India was able to respond very strongly to the advances made, not so positive advances made by our neighboring countries. A nation aspiring to become Vikshit must not only defend its people, but also do with Atmanirbharta, and Bharat did exactly. So no tolerance to terrorism, that is apart from economy and social areas, we are also developing our security. Now coming to the mains question, inclusive growth is possible under market economy. Second is state the significance of financial inclusion achieving India's economic growth in India. So is inclusive growth possible? Is inclusive growth possible under market economy? The answer is yes. The market economy has to create jobs. The market economy has to be regulated. The social sector, initiative like social security or welfare schemes have to be complemented, because revenue generated through market economy will be used for welfare and development. Also, the job creation will be prerogative of the government. So this answer will require a lot of effort. State the significance of financial inclusion in achieving economic growth in India. So financial inclusion, that means the access to financial services, banking services. It has 4 pillars: banking services, investment, credit, and insurance. So all those areas have to be developed. So once you have a proper bank account, then all those things can be there. For example, we have 53 crore Jan Dhan accounts are there in India, which is helping a very strong direct benefit transfer to the people, whether it is Aadhaar beneficiaries or welfare beneficiaries or Ujjwala beneficiaries, everyone. So that is transformational in nature. So definitely it is there, but it will require a dynamic aspect. Now there's one MCQ, let's discuss that question. So with reference to India's 5-year plan, which of the following statement are correct? From the second 5-year plan, there was a determined thrust towards substitution of basic and capital goods industries. Well, from second 5-year plan, the focus was creation of basic and capital goods industries, not substitution. So this statement is correct. Had it been that there was focus towards creation of capital goods and basic industries, this statement would have been right. So पहला statement गलत है, because the word, they have played with the words. The fourth five-year plan adopted the objective of correcting the earlier trend of increased concentration of wealth and the economic power. So fourth five-year plan is from 1969 till 74, and definitely India focused on poverty alleviation, Garibi Hatao, because Indira Gandhi came in power and she went ahead with schemes like nationalization of banks, abolition of privy purse, creation of 20-point programs, and that eventually helped India to do better. Well, objective was there, even though this was a most turbulent time and the growth definitely stagnated. So this statement is right, the objective was right. From fifth five-year plan, for the first time, financial sector was included in the integral part of the plan. Well, this was after the reform period. So reform period started in 1991. So we had eighth plan. So this, instead of fifth plan, should be eighth plan. So this statement is wrong. So only the B is the right answer. So UPSC will ask the questions. So you have to be very clear in terms of the basic understanding of the topic and the concepts, and that will help you to solve better. Okay, so these are the answer is B here. Okay, thank you for watching the video. Be regular and subscribe to the channel. God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.